You're recording? Yes. Okay. Hi, thank you for joining me today. In this video, as with a few we've done in the past, I'm going to present you with several sentences which I've embedded multiple corrections, or rather multiple errors for you to correct inside. In these exercises, I'll read the sentence to you, ask that you pause the video, scan, study the sentence, make, again, any and all corrections you feel like you're able to identify, and resume so that we can correct it together to see how your corrections align with my own. Perhaps you've discovered some different edits that you suggest I should have used instead of the ones that I end up using. If that's the case, again, I welcome your comments in the video below. Prior to getting started, if you would also like this video, if it's something that you feel can benefit you in your language learning, and also subscribe to the channel, as it does aid in, I guess, bolstering my presence and broadening my audience through the YouTube algorithm, which will hopefully enable me, or rather allow me, to facilitate my work by collaborating with other educators, whether domestically or abroad. Again, the goal for this channel is to produce content that teachers can use in their own classrooms to benefit their own students, or for students of this language, which is English, to use for free, essentially. All right, let's go ahead and jump into our first sentence, which reads, "Weren't there no cookies left?" All right, again, please pause the video, make any and all corrections you can on a piece of binder paper or whatever, and resume as soon as you're ready to go. Excuse me. Okay, now for this sentence, as with any sentence, you always want to begin with a capital letter. So I'm going to go ahead and switch over to my red pen. Here we have weren't there, so W capitalized, weren't there no cookies left? I'm hearing a double negative. Also, I want to take note of the fact that, let me switch to my highlighter, weren't should be, what's the word I'm looking for? A contraction, excuse me, brain freeze. It should be a combination, oops, sorry. I'm figuring out my writing tools as I go. Okay, so weren't should be a combination of the base word were plus the secondary word, which is not, to form weren't. So it should have an apostrophe T. But this does not make sense when expanded or read as, how should I say, as a contraction. So it would read, were not there no cookies left? Makes no sense. Instead, I'm going to go ahead and get rid of that contraction and replace it, if I can find the right color, and replace it with were. Whoops. Were there no cookies left? Or were there any cookies left? You could technically get away with were there no cookies left. However, just for style choice, meaning preference with my own knowledge base, my own experience, I would prefer it be any. So were there any cookies left? Also, there. This is a homophone. There's three different variants of the word there. There's T-H-E-Y apostrophe R-E, which is they are, it's a contraction. There's there, the way it's written now, which is possessive for a group or a plurality. And there's also T-H-E-R-E, which refers to a position in space or a location. So were there, because I'm referring to a specific location, like were there any cookies left? And it's an interrogative, so it should end with a question mark. So were there any cookies left? However, there were a few options for you to edit the sentence that are different than my own. Again, feel free to use the comment section below to let me know what you decided as opposed to what I have shown you. All right, let's go ahead and transition to the second sentence, which is, why can't Jerome never get here on time? Again, please pause the video, make any and all corrections that you can, resume so that we can go through it together. Okay, again, at the beginning of any sentence, you must begin with a capital. So let me go ahead and call back my, oh, there we go. So why should be capitalized. So why can't, where did my toolbox go? There we are. Can't is a contraction. The base word is can plus the word not, which means whenever you are appending not to form a contraction or any other secondary word to its base word when forming a contraction, it must be joined with an apostrophe, which I can clearly see is not present. Also, rule of thumb, whenever you're adding not, which I've underlined, to or appending not to a base word, you must substitute the O in not with the apostrophe. So the N will be set right against the base word. So why can't, apostrophe T. Jerome, never get here on time. Again, we have what's called a double negative. Can't and never are double negative. So why can't Jerome ever, continuous, get here on time? Some of you may have noticed that I skipped Jerome. Jerome is what's called a proper noun. It's the name of a person. Therefore, Jerome, or the J in Jerome, must be capitalized. So I'll go back to reread. Why can't Jerome ever get here on time? Question mark. This could be interpreted as what's called a rhetorical question, one in which the person is just making a statement of, frustration. Like, for example, like, why can't you be here on time? It's a rhetorical question. I don't intend for you to answer or provide an answer. It's really more of me making a statement. In this case, I would interpret it the same way. However, it's still an interrogative. Therefore, it does require a question mark, regardless, of whether or not it is rhetorical. Okay, let's go ahead and move on to the third sentence. The loudest cars. All right, which reads, Put Corinne's ice skates in that there closet. Again, put Corinne's ice skates in that there closet. Please pause. Correct. Resume when you're ready. Okay. All right. Again, start with the capital. Put Corinne's, Corinne being a proper noun. I'm going to capitalize the C. So put Corinne's ice skates here without the apostrophe to show ownership of the ice skates means I am talking about a plurality or a plural of Corinne, which means I have many girls named Corinne. That, however, is not the case. I'm referring to this girl, Corinne, her ice skates. She's in possession of it. To showcase possession, you will use apostrophe S. Oops, if I can get my tool. There we go. So put Corinne's ice skates in that closet. That there closet. Instead of that there, because they're both referring to something specifically, that's redundant. You can actually get rid of one of them. So in that implies that it's, you're referring to a specific through the context. Closet, which means there, is unnecessary. So put Corinne's ice skates in that closet. If, let's say, for instance, again, based on the context of the sentence, that closet is implied to be known to whoever's being spoken to. Therefore, saying that there, like I said, is redundant. You're repeating yourself. It's unnecessary. So that closet, period. All right. Let's go ahead. Oh, and period, because we're just making a statement. In this case, it's actually less of a statement and more of a command, because they're issuing this command to whomever to put those skates in a closet. Still ends with a period. And our final sentence, which reads, what time are we due at Miss Grissom's recital? Pause, correct, and resume when you're ready. Excuse me. Again, always want to begin a sentence with a capital. So what time are we due at Miss Grissom's recital? What time are we due? For me personally, so what time are we? I would change this. Oh, actually, no, due would work, but it's the wrong kind of due. Excuse me, brain fart. Due, again, homophone, sounds like another kind of due, spelled very differently and with entirely different meanings. In this case, due is like more of an actionable step, whereas due, D-U-E, is almost like you are expected. So here we have, what time are we due, meaning expected, at Miss Grissom's recital? Miss needs to be capitalized. It is a title. All titles must be capitalized. Miss Grissom's, Grissom being the surname of whoever this woman is, needs to be capitalized. It's a proper noun. And it's her recital. And I'm not talking about multiple Grissoms. Therefore, to show ownership, I will include apostrophe S to showcase that Miss Grissom owns or is in some way strongly connected to this recital. So what time are we due at Miss Grissom's recital? It's a question, therefore I will end it with a question mark, rightfully so. Let me go ahead and stop my recording. Perfect. All right, again, thank you very much for joining me. If you found this helpful, I would appreciate it if you would like, the video. Also subscribe to the channel, again, to aid with this YouTube algorithm and help broaden my reach. Otherwise, feel free to leave a comment from any of the sentences that we've covered today, or any suggestions that you may have for future videos. I would genuinely appreciate it. All right, thank you again. Have a great day.